Hi, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about your scholarly journal experience assignment for this class. I'm trying to back away from the computer a little bit so it's not quite such a max headroom kind of video for you. This assignment occurs in two steps, two phases. They're each worth 75 points for a total of 150 points. The first thing that you have to do, and again, be sure you understand what you're supposed to do at each phase, because you don't want to turn in the wrong thing at the wrong time, because that'll get you zero points, no credit. So make sure you understand what's happening first and what happens at last, and the due dates. The due dates are on the syllabus and the course calendar, and on lots of other places. So make sure you know when things are due and get them in on time. But the first thing that you'll do for your scholarly journal experience is an annotated bibliography of 5 sources. Now, normally when we do an annotated bibliography, it's much longer, much more, but we're just trying to get you used to it, get a feel for the literature out there. It's just the first phase in this assignment. What you're going to do is you're going to select 5 articles from peer-reviewed professional journals on issues related to developmental sexuality. If you don't know how to find those, you can go to the library. The librarians will be very, very happy to help you, and they're extremely helpful. I have never, ever had anyone say that they couldn't find help in the library. When I've been there myself, I get more help than I can handle. I mean, they know so much about how to search things and how to look things up. So they are definitely a resource for you if you're not sure what you're supposed to do here. But you will choose 5 articles. They have to come from at least 3 different journals. So you can't just go to one journal and pick 5 articles and turn them in. You have to pick 5 different articles out of 3 different journals. So 2 of them can come from the same one, but the other 3 need to come from, different ones, okay? So 3 different journals need to be represented in that bibliography, and you have to have 5 actual articles. So does everybody understand? Your bibliography will have 5 articles, and there will be at least 3 different journals referenced that you got those articles from. Okay? The annotated bibliography includes the full APA citation for that article, as well as a brief little summary of what the article was about, what methods they used, meaning what did they do? Did they do interviews? Did they have questionnaires? Did they do observations? And then what their main findings were. It's just a little paragraph, and there will be an example posted for you pretty soon, we hope, about what an annotated bibliography might look like. Again, this is very important. This has to be in your own words. We don't want you using any quoted material for your annotated bibliography. You need to just read the articles and then type a little paragraph telling us what they were about. That needs to be entirely in your own words. Completely. No cutting and pasting from the article. No cutting and pasting the abstract of the article. We don't even want you to use quotes in this assignment because it needs to be your own words. You need to have read the article and understand what you read. So if you're reading an article, you can't understand it well enough to put in your own words, go find a different one. Okay? I don't know how I can be more clear. Use your own words. Okay? Use your own words. I'm going for a Student Life free semester this semester, so I hope you all will help me with that by doing your own work in your own words and citing correctly. Okay, it's one of my goals for this time. The textbook companion website also has some articles that you can review. The TWU library obviously has a plethora of articles that you can access. And you can also look in the textbook reference section if you're completely at a loss. And that's all you do for the first part, the first phase of the scholarly journal experience. And then for the second phase, you will pick one of those articles from your annotated bibliography to review in detail. Make sure the study describes or explains the developmental process related to developmental sexuality. Review the article using the protocol you find there in your syllabus. You're going to give an introduction of the main topic of the article, the purpose or the goal, the research questions of the study. What were they trying to figure out? What were they studying? The sample size that they used and a description of that sample. Were they men, women, children, what ages, how many females, how many males, what was their ethnic identification, what was their educational level, all that stuff. The methodology and the procedures. This means, what did they do? Did they interview people? Did they observe them? How many times? Was it something they did over a period of 6 months and they went back again a year later? Or was it just a one-time thing? That's what we want to know there. Their methodology, their procedures. What did they do to get the information? And then the variables under study and the measures. So, for example, the variables would be if I am looking at how education level influences the developmental outcomes of children of teenage parents. Well, education level is a variable. Being a teen parent was a variable. And then whatever measures I'm using to decide what those outcomes are. So maybe I'm looking at cognitive development of the child. That's a variable. Okay, so that's what variables are. Let's see. Instruments, if any, used. This doesn't mean like the tuba or a trumpet or something. The instruments are usually the questionnaires that they used, or the interview protocol, the structured interview. If they have an interview guide that they use, that's the instrument. Then the key findings of the research. What were their main findings? What did they find out by doing this study? And then offer a critique of the limitations of the study. Now, the authors will identify some limitations, and if you use those limitations, that's okay, but you need to make sure that you are stating in your assignment that these are limitations identified by the authors. And then if you identify any other ones, you can certainly give those, but make sure that any that are identified by the authors, you give that credit where it's due, and you say the authors identified certain limitations to the study which included blah, 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 blah. And then if you noticed some other things too. A frequent limitation, for example, is sample size. It's either too small or not representative enough or what have you. And then you're going to relate the study findings to other course readings. So how does the study and its findings relate to maybe what you've read about in your textbook? That would be a great place to go look for that relation to course readings. And then you're going to offer some practical implications of this study for working with children, teens, parents, families. And your reaction to the article. Was it surprising? Was it something you figured you kind of already knew anyway, and it was nice to see it confirmed in a study? That kind of thing. And then you'll give a concluding remarks. Don't let your paper just end, just hanging there with no ending. Give me some sort of summarization. Tie it all together back for me. And then your reference page, and everything should be in APA format. 750 words or more, and put it all in your own words. This is going to be an assignment that many of you will find quite challenging because a lot of you don't have as much experience reading research as others. And if you don't, do not let this be a temptation to copy, because you won't learn anything if you do that, and the odds are very high that you will end up in student life for it. So just don't do it. If you have questions, use your instructors as a resource. Come to us. Let us walk you through it, teach it to you, so that when you leave this class, you know how to do this. That's the point. So if you're feeling stuck, let somebody know, get some help. We are here and willing to help you. And odds are, if you have a question about it, put it on the Q&A board, and somebody else is going to benefit from the answer to that question too. So feel free to ask questions, clarify, get all the information that you can before you do it. Some advice I usually give students on how to do these and make sure that it's all in their own words is read the article, read it several times, and then put it down. And then go into the other room and tell your roommate, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, mother, grandmother, child, dog, cat, whatever, what you read about, what the study was about, and put it in your own words. Tell it as if you're telling it to somebody who doesn't have a lot of knowledge about child development, who hasn't read the article, and you have to help them understand what was done. And then type that. And then you can clean it up, make it more scholarly sounding. But then you know it's in your own words. The worst mistake you can make is to work on your article review with your article open in front of you. Put it away and let it come out of your own mind when you type it out. And you will probably find you have a much easier time. So good luck to you. It's going to be a great assignment. You're going to learn a lot. And I know you all can do it. So if you have questions along the way, just let us know. We're here to help.